Hi everyone, and welcome to Oyster Academy. Okay, so after a lot of controversy, we finally have the examination for Deputy Superintendent of Police. Of course, there was a lot of talk between Goa PSC and the government, and also a lot of people being involved as to when is Goa PSC going to launch the DYSP examinations, and it's finally here. Of course, this came in last week, and I did intend to make a video on this last week itself. Well, just a few things here and there that sort of delayed this particular information to you guys. Now, we'll go through this particular ad. There have been a few questions which aspirants have been asking me as to what goes where and how these exams are going to be conducted. So I think this particular video might be able to clear some of your doubts. Okay, so we'll take the ad itself so that we do not miss out on anything whatsoever. The very first important point is that the last date to fill up the application is going to be 8th of September. So you still have about 3 days or so to fill up your exam, to fill up this particular form. The idea is very simple. I need to read carefully all the instructions. The basic instructions are as it is, which means regarding the photo that you upload or the sign that you upload, all of that information is already provided in the earlier videos. So you could just go through that, or you could download the instructions from the commission website itself. So it's not that difficult. It's just the basic things about it. Then let's look at what the post is and the number of positions also. See, of course, this is from the Department of Personnel. This is known as the Junior Scale Officer of Goa's Police Service, the Deputy Superintendent of Police. Okay, this is a DYSP post. It is a very big post. A total of 28 positions in all, out of which 14 would be for unreserved, 8 will be for OBC, 4 for ST, and 2 for economically weaker sections. So this is a huge examination and a huge post that has come through. The number of positions are high as well. So see to it that you do give the exam. Okay, do not skip this. The level is level 10 pay matrix. So this is exactly as what you would get for a junior scale officer. It's a decent amount of money. The most important point, however, to note is that for JSO examinations, where you would see the age to be 40, this being the police services, it is very clear that the age should not exceed 30 years. Okay, except if you are in possibly in the army, or you are already part of the police as such, and you have crossed 30 years of age, then depending upon various sections that the government has provided for various positions, your age limit could be up to 40 years. Okay, but for the average Joe, who a student as such, who is studying or possibly just cleared his graduation and so on and so forth, you cannot exceed 30 years of age. Okay, the other essentials are as it is, which is going to be that you need to have a degree. So you need to be a graduate. Okay. And it could be a graduate from any department as such. It's not as if it's only for students who have done their engineering, or possibly students who have done only their commerce as such. Nothing of that sort. You could be even a student of hotel management, and you could still, if you have your degree, you could give this particular exam. What's different, however, from the JSO examination, okay, the deputy collector examination, as compared to the DYSP examination, is the physical standards required. There have been physical standards given for men and women both. So for male candidates, the minimum height has to be 168 centimeters. Okay. The chest unexpanded 80 centimeters and expanded 85 centimeters. Now, this is the minimum requirement. What they do check here is, I don't know if you have sort of seen any of the army recruitment examinations or police recruitment examinations for the post of constables or the post of sepoys as such. You would see them measuring the chest and then taking a very deep breath and measuring the chest again. The idea is that the expanded chest has to be at least of 5 centimeters. Okay, so it's not that if you have a chest of, let's say, 85 centimeters and you're able to, blow it up to 90 centimeters, you will not be allowed. That is not the case. The minimum is 80 centimeters, and when expanded, it should be 85. So the 5 centimeters gain, that is what they will be looking at over here. Okay, that is important. Uh, a very strange thing, however, that Goa PSC has done as compared to other public service commissions is that this physical test, they say that will carry no marks. Okay, but it will be a qualifying test. Now we look at the test, so which is going to be a 100 meters run, which is to be done in 15 seconds. You have a long jump of 3.8 meters. You will be given 3 chances. If you do not, if you're not able to do so, you will be disqualified. The shot put, which is the standard shot put for men, which is 7 kilos and 260 grams. You need to throw it for at least 5.6 meters. You'll be given 3 chances for the same. If you do not do so, you are out. High jump, 1.20 meters. This is decent. I think any normal person would be under the age of 30 definitely would be able to jump this. You will still be given 3 chances, and if you fail in this, you are again out. 800 meters you have to run in 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So this again is extremely important. If you do not do so, you are out again. Now, why do I say this is different and possibly a little more difficult as compared to other public state service commission? Is that other public state commissions give you a grading on this and will also give you a grading in terms with the number of seconds you take to complete. So for example, a 100 meters run, if you're able to do in 17 seconds, okay, let's say the minimum required is 15. And if you sort of get it in 15 seconds, you get a total of 10 marks. Okay, so what other PSCs do is they give marks for the number of activities. So if you have an 800 meters run, you are given about 40 marks are decided for this. High jump maybe 10 marks, short put 10 points, long jump 10 points again, and 100 meters run maybe another 10 points. So what happens is, depending upon how well you complete it, you get a score out of 10. So it's not as if in the 3 chances of high jump, if you're able to jump, let's say 1 meter, then it's not as if you're disqualified. You're given less marks. So here what happens is, if you're not able to jump 1.2 meters, you're directly disqualified. And that, in my personal opinion, is a bit harsh. But then again, it's Goa PSC and it has its own standards to meet. So this is what they have decided. This is what we will go with. So you have to, there is no there is no way that you can say, no, you know what, I don't agree to this and I'm not going to jump. They would say you can go home. But this is what has been offered to you. You have to eat it, come what may. For women candidates, the minimum height is 160 centimeters. The weight cannot be less than 45 kilos. So if you are, you need to start gaining weight right away. The following efficiency will be tested. 100 meters, you need to run in 16.5 seconds. Long jump, you have to do 3.25 meters. Short put, you have a lesser weight of a short put, the standardized for women, which is 4 kilos. And you have to throw it for 4.5 meters. And you're given 3 chances yet again. High jump is going to be 1.05 meters, and 200 meters you have to run in 36 seconds. Okay, so instead of 800 meters, you need to run 200 meters as such. Now, any of these activities you fail, you are out again. The biggest question that I did get as to when will this test be conducted? Now, I'll tell you how this is done normally. Okay. Now, here, if you notice, Goa PSC hasn't mentioned as such as to when they're going to take the test. But the concept is very simple. Physical tests for any examinations which demand it happen only after the main written exam. Okay. You do not take physical test before the first paper. You take it only when the student has cleared their mains examination. So just like any JSO paper, this also will have pre-screening, screening, your written mains. In this case, you will have, after that, you'll have your physical and your interview. Okay, that is how this will go. If you clear your mains and then you have your physical and then you clear your physical, then you go to the interview. This is how it is going to be. Okay. Of course, if there are any changes to this, the Goa PSC will inform us about the same. But as of now, do consider that you do have some time to get yourself in shape. If you are not, start right now. And I'll also tell you one other thing. I have been training other state service applicants, especially police sub-inspectors and DYSPs for the state of Maharashtra. I will tell you one thing. If you believe that you can do or complete the physical tasks in the stipulated amount of time, great. I have no disdains on that. However, my suggestion is start running right now. Okay. Do not wait till the last minute. 100 meters run in 15 seconds is not as easy as you think. 200 meters in 36 seconds or 800 meters in 2.5 minutes or 2 minutes 50 seconds is not as easy as you think. Okay. So you have to be on your toes starting now. You can definitely spare an hour or so. Do it. Start practicing your physical activities which are required on the efficiency test right away. Okay. Do not wait. Then the most important point, of course, knowledge of Konkani is important, and desirable is knowledge of Marathi. Knowledge of Konkani will be tested in your interview. None of your papers have anything in Konkani whatsoever. The entire paper, all the papers are going to be in English, so you can be rest assured with that. The rest is pretty much the same as the JSO examination. So you will have your pre-screening test. Of course, it is mentioned here that, depending upon the number of students, we will decide whether there's a pre-screening test or not. Don't think on this. There will be a pre-screening test. Okay. The pre-screening test, as you know, is going to be for 75 minutes, 60 questions. Okay. It is going to be an MCQ type of questions. It will be 1 mark per question that you get correct, and negative marks. There will be no negative marks whatsoever. Okay. So do remember this. So 75 minutes duration, 60 questions of MCQ type, and they will have 1 mark for the right answer and 0 marks for wrong answer. Okay. Now, this is the syllabus here. I want you guys to go through the syllabus. This is something that you can definitely read, and this is exactly what we have for JSO examinations. 50 marks for your aptitude, 10 marks for English comprehension, a total of 75 marks. Now, as it is well known with Goa Public Service Commission, you need to have a minimum passing percentage. Only then do you move on to the next stage. So for JSO, we always have 65%. For BDO exams, we have 60%. And other examinations, be it any assistant professor or lecturer or whatever be the case, that will again be 60%. Okay. So unreserved category or economically weaker section, you have a total of 65% that you need to achieve, which is 39 marks out of 40. For OBC, it is 60%, which is 36 out of 60. And for ST categories, 55%, 33 out of 60. Okay. Also, it does happen that you might have just reached about, let's say, 38 marks instead of 39. So instead of just disqualifying you right away in the pre-screening test, Goa PSC is the only organization that actually gives aspirants a repeat pre-screening test. There is no other public service commission that sort of gives any form of repeat test to the students who are just on the border. Okay, so this is something extremely well which is done by the Goa Public Service Commission. So what happens is, let's say you get 38 marks and you're on the border, you can actually give your pre-screening test. So it is 3 marks from the minimum required marks that you get. If that is the case, you will be able, you're allowed for the repeat pre-screening test, and you can do so. So see, unreserved EWS category, which required 39 marks, but if you get 36 or 37 or 38, you are allowed for a repeat pre-screening. Now, if you, in the repeat pre-screening, however, if you do not get the required 39 marks out of 60, then you're out. If you do get it, then you and the others who have cleared the pre-screening test will move on to the next stage, which is the screening test. Okay. Here below, you would notice the OBC category who need 33, 34, or 35 to be allowed the repeat pre-screening test, and the ST category 30, 31, and 32 marks. Okay, so it is nothing but 3 marks from your minimum requirement. If you see here, 39 marks, 3 marks from your minimum requirement, 36 marks, 3 marks from minimum requirement, and ST category 33 marks, 3 marks from your minimum requirement. Okay, but try to get more than 45 marks or so that you don't have to really worry about this repeat pre-screening, then coming to the exam, going through the entire process again. You directly move on to the screening test. Okay, so just aim for as much as you can. So then you have the screening test. The screening test, of course, is going to be a total of 75 marks. Okay, 75 marks, 90 minutes, and this is the syllabus. So you have history of India and Indian national movement, which is for 5 marks. You have Indian polity, which is for 10 marks. You have environment, which is going to be for 5 marks. Human rights and human laws in India and so on, which will be for 5 marks. Current affairs, which is going to be for 10 marks. Geography, which is for 5 marks. English comprehension, which is 10 marks. And analytical ability, which is 25 marks. Okay, so you have this sort of division, which comes up to 75 marks in all. Again, over here, you require a 65% out of 75 marks to clear to the next stage. If you are from the unreserved or economically weaker section, 60% if you're from the OBC, and 55% if you're from the ST category. Now, let's say you again reach the border of 65% and you do not clear the screening test. This time you will have no repeat screening test. Okay, that repeat ability to give the exam again, that was only in the pre-screening part, not here. Okay, after this you have the competitive written examination. The competitive written examination shall have 4 sections in all, 250 marks total. You have part A, B, C, and D. Part A, which is your numerical aptitude or your general intelligence and numerical aptitude, which is 50 marks. You will get 60 minutes for this. This will be on day 1 of the written test. So written test is for 2 days. Okay. So day 1, you will have part A and part B. In that, general intelligence is 50 marks. Indian Constitution, governance, and administration will be 75 marks. Out of this 75 marks, you have written examinations also, and you also have your MCQ that you need to attempt. Okay, so you have a few questions to write, and you also have a few questions as MCQs. General knowledge and current affairs, which will be 75 marks again, the same kind of concept that you have for polity, where you have a few MCQs and you also need to write answers. That is part C. And which is part D is your English comprehension, which is 50 marks. Here you will have the words and you need to write the meanings for it. There is also a passage that you're given, you need to answer based upon the passage, and so on and so forth. So part A and B is done on day 1, part C and D is done on day 2, and that will continue as it is. If you need more information on this, you can definitely look at the JSO examination, the video that we have put in last year itself. Okay, so that has not changed. And finally, you have your oral interview. Your oral interview will be calculated based upon how well you speak and how well you present yourself, based upon the answers that you give in the interview itself. So all of that will be taken into consideration. Okay. What there's a small difference though here is that the final score that you will have is going to be for 250 marks of mains plus 40 marks of oral interview put together. So your final score is going to be out of 290 marks. Okay. And in this 290 marks also, if you are going to get a position, that is the position of DYSP, you need a minimum of 65%. So if you get 65% out of 290 as such, then you will be selected for your position. That is, you will be appointed by the government. Okay, so you have to be very careful with this. If you do get, let's say, a hall ticket, it does not in any way mean that you are selected for the position unless and until you get your call letter as such. Okay, so when I say a call letter where you get an appointment letter from the government stating that you are selected for the post of Deputy Superintendent of Police. Okay, so that is only when you get the entire, that is when you get your post as such. Okay, so all of this information is just a basic explanatory note, something that you can read and understand. It's not much difficult as such. The other thing that I want you guys to notice, for the entire concept of DYSP as such, I have noticed that the aspirants do not sort of know where to test themselves, because these examinations that I've noted, some of the aspirants sometimes even get scores as low as 15 marks or 20 marks, and some of them even reach high standards of 60, 65. So the disparity over here is huge. There are a few reasons behind this. Number one is that aspirants do not have a space to test themselves. Okay, you do not have a practice test series where you could possibly test yourself exactly on how the exam is going to be conducted. Or perhaps you do not have any sort of guidance as such where um, you have people coming in and telling you and teaching you as to how this exam is to be done. So what I am going to do is, in the next couple of days, I am going to launch an app for the students of Goa, or Goa only, where you would be able to give the test series for pre-screening, screening, and even written examinations. Okay, so the app is already designed. It is I already have the link for it. I'm just going to upload the test papers, 10 test papers in all, for the DYSP JSO examination. Okay, it will be once every Sunday. I will give you more details on another video as such, but it will be every Sunday till you have your pre-screening. So 10 papers. I am expecting the pre-screening to be somewhere in the end of November. Sorry, the end of October or the first week of November. That's what I'm expecting the examination to be, because they want to really fill in these positions as soon as possible. So that should give us ample time for 10 papers and the practice for the 10 papers. These papers will be exactly how you would find your pre-screening to be. Okay. So do inform your friends, whoever are giving this examination. I will be posting the link of the app in the video description itself. Download the app. We already have the section created for the test series. The test series will start from the 17th of September. Okay, 17th of September it will start, and it will be based upon the pre-screening syllabus. Okay, that is what we're going to start with. Once your pre-screening is done, immediately we will have another test series for your screening part. Okay, so that also shall be taken care of. All right, so that is the ad, 28 positions in all. Fill it as soon as possible. It is there on this particular website, gpsc.goa.gov.in, and put in your photo and put in your the signature and get this done. Okay, so best of luck for the examination, and that is it for today. Thank you for watching.